So let's look at the buying cycle. Now here's my favorite part of what we do as opposed to what most other marketers on the internet do. We actually look at marketing. As I said, it's all about marketing and intent. Now, traditional marketing is in the middle. Awareness, familiarity, consideration, purchase, and advocacy. Okay, that's basically the cycle, the buying cycle, traditional buying cycle in old-fashioned traditional advertising. You make a client aware that you have a product TV, so you're blasting out, use my product, use my product. Familiarity, they maybe use the product, they consider buying the product, or they have a friend tell you about the product, they purchase the product, and then they love the product, they become an advocate, and they go and talk about it. Let's see how that relates to the internet, okay? Can you go back? I just want to, basically we're talking about time, the time and the sales. So there's a need, there's a search, there's choice, there's call to action, and then the buzz. And then if you're looking at the buying cycle, there's the pre-buying cycle to get people interested, there's the beginning, middle, end of the buying cycle when you purchase, and then the spread of the information. Okay. So here's basically the difference between internet marketing. Again, it's all about search. Why would you consider, make sure that you're in the search? Okay? Because users already are in the buying cycle. They're already in the buying cycle. They come online and they're already looking. They haven't made their mind up yet. And they may be at the pre-stage of the buying cycle. Because the pre-stage of the buying cycle might be that they're looking for information. They're not ready to click on anything. They're just exploring. They're going to websites just to get information, collecting information, pre-buying cycle. Okay? What else do you get when you're in the search? Branding. You're branding your company. Every time you come up on page 1, you are branding your company. You become a player. They say, oh, I didn't know that company existed. Oh, that's interesting. You can come up with your logo, with a picture, with a video, with whatever, but you're branding your company. So now the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is being at the beginning of the buying cycle, search, and narrowing it down to making a choice. Okay. So here's what you need to do. You have to look at your keywords. It all starts with good keyword research. Okay? So the keyword research is fine. You figure out what your main keywords are, and then you compile a list of those keywords, and then you assign a value to them. In other words, are they at the beginning of the buying cycle? For example, we had a client that sold franchises. So one of their keywords was franchise opportunity. Now, that's not necessarily going to generate a buyer. But if you're not there for the beginning of the buying cycle where you're offering that person a franchise opportunity, you're never going to get them when they know that they want a cleaning store or a McDonald's or whatever, because those people know that they're looking for that. But there are people that are just looking for a franchise. They don't know what they want yet. They want to explore several different ideas. So then you get in front of them and say, oh, maybe I should have that franchise. So if you never took franchise opportunity, you'd never get in front of that pre-buying cycle or that search. So the keyword selection is very, very important. And sometimes we say a keyword gives a lift to another keyword. For example, we had a client, term life insurance. If you don't have that generic term life, you take that out for some of the more specific, you don't get that lift for some of the other words later. So you have to kind of look at everything that's related to your search, effort, everything. And then you have selection. So you have this big giant list. You select those words that you feel are most appropriate. As I said, if you're not cheap, you don't want the word cheap modifier, but you want your core keyword set, and then you can put your modifiers around it after. So you get your core set, selection, and then what we call exclusion. You want to throw out words that don't fit. If you're not selling that, you don't want people on your site to do that. Now, for organic search, it doesn't really matter because everything, if your site is totally visible, they're going to find you for everything. Your whole site becomes visible. Now, doing this yourself is very challenging. You would not be able to. But you need to have tools. Now, There are free tools out there. Google has free tools, so you can use a Google tool. However, Google is a very good tool, and basically it will generate, ideas. It'll look for, basically thesaurus type words. But there are paid tools out there that are even better. There's also sites like Compete and some of these other SpyFu that if you look at Word Tracker, these actually are very, very good tools. Now SpyFu, by the way, is free. And SpyFu actually will tell you, write this down everybody, spyfu.com. They will actually, if you type in your competitor's website, they will tell you what, if your competitor is using paid search, they will tell you how much they're spending. They will tell you their list of keywords, and they will also tell you their organic words. Okay, so now we're at the end of the buying cycle, where somebody's either going to purchase, and we call that the call to action. Where is your call to action? If you just have it in the contact section of your website, you may be missing a lot of opportunities. So, for example, we're talking here really landing pages. I'm sure all of you have heard of landing pages. What you want to do is you want to match your search term to the landing page, not to your home page, because that's not relevant information. How close is the match to your landing page? Now, what we do with clients, depending on the size of the client, is we talk about personas. For example, you have different types of audiences that buy your products. So you may have a landing page that addresses a very specific persona. High-end camera buyer, let's say, and you want to only show them the high-end cameras because you know they're not going to be interested in anything less. So you match those keywords to that persona, and you will have a higher conversion rate because you're really dealing with the type of person that is going to land on that page. This is one of the things I think is the weakest thing in most sites that we actually look at, your marketing message. When you land on your home page and any internal page, you have between 3 and 5 seconds to get the attention of that visitor. So you need a tagline. You need to get that information out there. What's your message? Who are you? And you got to get it nailed on. When they glance at it, they've got to see it. They read differently on the internet. If you have tons of text on your website, they're not going to read that. But if you break it up into headings, they'll read what they need to. And then you say, learn more. Go get more if you want more. Give them the choice. But people today read tons and tons of information online. If you don't have it smacking them in the face and being very consistent and really targeted to what you want to say, it's not going to work as well. Unless, of course, you have a niche market and you have some product that they absolutely... I mean, if you had the cure for cancer and they had that cancer, they'd stay on the site. You know what I mean? They're going to dig till they get the answer. But if you don't have that, if you're just an average person who's competing in the world of eyeballs, you're not going to get that. So you got to be smarter. Then you want your call to action, and you want your call to action at every place possible. So for example, if I'm selling subscriptions to somebody, I might have a little pop-up, or not a pop-up, but on that landing page, I might have a little thing where they could fill out the form right there. They don't have to go to my contact page. They don't have to go all over the world. They can just sign up right there. Or if it's a newsletter, or if it's anything subscription-based, you want to have several targeted places. Like in our website, if you look at our website, every couple paragraphs we have, sign up or put your email down or call us or our phone number. In other words, every place where a person might make a decision to call you, you want to make it as easy as possible for them to contact you or buy your product. Which reminds me that if you have a e-commerce website and you ask them to register, you've already lost 50% of your potential business. What is the path to conversion? In other words, you have to look at that and examine it. In other words, from the time that somebody clicks onto the ad, they're now at the landing page. How hard, let's look at every link that you can look at and measure the path along the way and see if you can speed that up. The tools that we have are sophisticated tools, so they help us. You don't have to do the thinking. They give you various scenarios to test out to see, and you actually get results, you know, statistical results that you say, this landing page is winning. Let's do that. And then you take that landing page, you substitute it, and then do that test again, so that you keep getting what we call killer landing pages. And then the reports, you make sure that the reports are there, and then test, test, test.